one of my home pages. Um, this one shows my business card, one of the business cards that I am using in South America. Has a couple of phone numbers. Those are Colombian cell phone numbers. Those are not American phone numbers. I do have an American phone number, but those ones are not American phone numbers. Those are WhatsApp numbers. And it has 3 links. One is for Instagram, another for YouTube, and Facebook. So you could visit those ones. We provide numerous services such as software development. Other people in our group does real estate sales in Hawaii, in other people in California, and people in Colombia, particularly in Medellin. We also provide travel services such as tour guides, travel advice, things like that. We also sell books, promote people such as models, artists, talent. So we do provide a lot of services. Translations, computerized translation in particular, language interpreting, fashion design. We have fashion designers in California and in Medellin. Anyway, the purpose of this video is to talk about computer programming. I invite you to watch other videos in my channel. The channel doesn't have a lot of subscribers. Hopefully, with your help, we grow with the number of subscribers and views. First, let's talk about a little bit about myself. I've been in the computer industry for many years. Back in the 1980-81, I started learning computer systems engineering. At that time, we were using punched cards. You just look at the picture on the right side. You will see kind of a piece of cardboard with holes on it. We used to have basically I would write in a piece of paper the instructions, and somebody will actually use a machine to make it make some holes on the card, and those cards will have some instructions that will be put together in a pile like this one, and then fed into a machine. So that's basically how the instructions were provided to kind of a mainframe at the time. So if we made a mistake, we basically remove the mistakes, remove the bad cards, and have those punched, and then we will add them into the pile again, and then run the whole program again. So that was the way we were doing it at the time. Later on, I've learned on the job about basically I ran on my own, and then on the job about Paradox programming. It was basically PAL programming, and I loved it. I did actually work for a $30 million project in Object PAL, and it was pretty nice. I loved it. I even liked it more than Microsoft Access. But anyway, they moved into Microsoft Access. Anyway, that was in the past. Microsoft Access is still in use, but nowadays they are using a lot more programming languages. Kind of hard to decide. That's why I want to kind of mention what is out on the market, what is out there. There is a page called TIOBE. That's what I call it. Which kind of rates programming languages based on multiple ratings. Python is on top of the list. Java, but I'm going to talk about those ones. First of all, my choice right now is Kotlin, because with one programming language you basically can do a lot of things. Kotlin is basically an improved version, or kind of an improvement on Java, and it has features that are kind of make things easier, better. Java is said to is being verbose, meaning that you have to type a lot of things to do something. Kotlin improves on some aspects, and if you want to read more about it, you can actually go to Wikipedia and kind of get a little bit of detail about it. Then there is Java. Is very high in demand still. If you look into, see, Indeed or one of the other job billboards or job boards, you will see Java is being demanded in a lot of places, especially like in South America. It's very high in demand, even more than Kotlin. But it's good to learn Kotlin, you know what I'm saying? So if I were you, I will learn Kotlin and probably get the basics of Java. So it's better to have the knowledge on both of them. But Java's kind of long. I mean, it has a lot of things to learn. So it's kind of takes a long time to learn. Has a lot of things. But it's the good thing is Java is running a lot of Android devices, billions of devices. So if you know Java, you're in really good shape, or at least learn Kotlin. All right, another program that is top on the list is TypeScript along with JavaScript. So basically, JavaScript is even more, but TypeScript improves on JavaScript. Kind of is because TypeScript kind of corrects some issues that are happening with JavaScript. JavaScript is not the same as Java. JavaScript is different. Anyway, TypeScript improves on that, and maybe eventually it will take over. So if I were you, I would learn Kotlin, TypeScript, and Python. Python is one of the other ones. JavaScript is very high in demand. If you learn JavaScript, you're really in good shape. But even knowing that's not enough, because you will need to learn some other basics, such as HTML, CSS, and then you need to learn other stuff. And along with that, but at least you need those three: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to kind of be in business. While Kotlin, you learn Kotlin, and you should be pretty much it. But the HTML and CSS, they don't take too long to learn, but they do take time to learn. Python is another one that is really top the list. I actually like some things going on about Kotlin, except for the indentation. Problem with the indentation is that if you don't put the right number of tabs or spaces, the program will fail and you will not even notice why. Let's say that is well designed, but then you messed up in a couple of spaces or in a tab, and the program fails and you don't even know why. So that's what I don't like about Python, and that's why they decided to stop learning it. But eventually we'll go back to it because there's a lot of utilities, a lot of things that they were already developed for Python, and it's in very high demand and in high use. So I think I'm gonna finish learning Kotlin and then learn some more programming languages, including Python, learning more. One of my favorites is Julia, even though it's not yet in the kind of in the top. It's growing pretty well. It's more like for math, statistics, things like that. But the design is fantastic. I really like this programming language. It's easy to learn. I hope this goes really high on the list. It's improving. It's getting better. It's doing pretty well. Hopefully, this goes to the top of the list. Because that's one of my favorites. C++ I did learn it many years ago, back in when it was 2.0, and then I learned it. I've been learning it for quite a bit of time. It's a very old programming language, but it's in very high demand, high use, because it's kind of the basics for other programming languages along with C. C++ and C are the basics for basis for many other programming languages. Problem is that it's a little confusing at times because there's a little bit of repetition on some things. You may have to do one thing. You have to put it in multiple locations. Put things in multiple locations just to do one thing. So it's kind of bothersome. The basics are easy, but then when you start doing, you have to put one thing in one file and then put it again in another file. So it's multiple files, multiple things just to do one thing. So I don't like that. but it's important to learn it. So it's another important programming language. You can also learn C, and then learn C++. So it's a lot of choices. There are choices. Rust, for example, improves on C++. So you may even choose Rust instead of C++. But the problem with Rust is that it's not yet in high demand. It's not well known yet, and it's a little more difficult to learn. But it's pretty safe, pretty good. So so you need to look and see the demand and what is the purpose of learning it. If it is for your own development for your own products, or it's for somebody else. Right now the demand of Rust is not yet high, but it's a good, well-paid programming language. If you learn it, you will get good income. Go is another one that is pretty good. Go or Golang, they call it Golang sometimes to avoid confusion, was developed by Google, and trying to overcome some other issues on some other programming languages. It's kind of easy to learn, so it should be okay, and it has a lot of benefits to it. So yes, it's another good language to learn. R, in a few commands you can do a lot of things, but it's more into statistical work. The interface is basically, if you get there's a program that goes along with this. Once it's two, you install R, and then you install the R Studio, and you get like a notepad screen, and then you type one command and it will do things. So it's like a interactive. You type a command and then it will do some things, and then you type another command and it does some other things. And but you can actually save the commands into one file and run it. It's pretty fast, pretty efficient. It can get a little bit, at times, because it's multiple commands that you have to learn, but that's kind of in every single programming language. They need to learn multiple commands. But it's pretty good too. It's pretty good. It does have an interactive programming that you can install that it will teach you quite a bit of it, but it's a little bit complicated to learn to use, because basically teaches you something, and then it asks you to kind of do right after they ask you questions about what you just learned. It's kind of an interactive course that you can install a package. So there is also the C#, like this one. They call it C#, but it actually you can type it as this one. It was developed by Microsoft. It's pretty good too, because it has all the support by Microsoft and things like that. All of those programming languages are free. You don't have to buy them. They are free. Another one that is important is Clojure. I did try to learn it, but I found it kind of complicated to learn. It's a functional programming language. It's really good. I think it needs some improvements in the part of the installation and things like that. Some things make it more Windows based. You have to basically use the REPL and things like that. So I think some things need to be improved. It's a little bit difficult to learn, in my opinion, but I haven't used it in a long time, so I'm not sure how much it has improved since. But it's a very important programming language. Another one that is kind of caught my attention is APL. APL uses a lot of symbols. So you type a few commands and you do accomplish quite a bit. I'm not sure you can look at it now here like this. With a few symbols, but this one is not. Let me see if I find. But with a few symbols, you accomplish quite a bit. I think this is just Python that is showing over here instead. It's because this video is it's a comparison between APL being compared to C++, Java, Python, and things like that. So actually, this is not APL. Anyway, let me see if I could get back to the program that is so many tabs open that is messing up the memory in the computer. Anyway, so here it is. You type some weird symbols to accomplish things. The good thing is that you will save a lot of typing, but you may need to use a different kind of keyboard to be able to type those things. So basically, you kind of get to get something else. There's also the dialogue programming kind of I would say language that kind of improves on APL, but it's pretty expensive software, but it's pretty good. Anyway, continuing on that, so I kind of caught my attention APL, so I may go back to it in the future. Elixir, it caught my attention too, very nice, but I didn't really spend the time to learn it too much. There is Lua, also interesting to me. I've been studying a lot of programming languages. Nim caught my attention too. Scala, that one I haven't tried yet. There are other ones that supposedly are improving on it or better than it now, so I haven't really spent the time to learn it. Swift, I didn't try it yet because it's more for Apple, and I'm basically mainly dedicated to Microsoft products, so I haven't really done any time on it. Ruby, I haven't spent time on it, but it's also used to be very liked. It has come down now, but yeah, it used to be liked very much. This particular video, Top 10 Programming Languages by Edureka, was pretty good. It gives a lot of details on 10 programming languages, so I recommend you to watch this particular video. So kind of that was kind of a quick overview of kind of a list of programming languages that I recommend. And if you want to actually some consulting assistance, just let me know. I do provide some consulting about computers and some other services. And so please let me know if you need anything, or if you're interested in working with me in some projects, or you have some ideas or anything. All right, so thank you for watching.